I got a lot of houseplants that vine like crazy. So in this video, we're gonna go over all about moss poles, ones that you can get for free, and then other ones that we can make on the cheap. And this is gonna be a two-part series. What's going on, my plant people? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a form of therapy, and we're gonna be talking about moss poles. Being that I have indoor houseplants, part one is going to be all about moss poles and vining plants indoors, and part two is going to be trellis options for outdoors in your vegetable garden. But for this video, we're going to be talking about moss poles, so let's get started. My number one favorite plant right now, going 2 years strong, is the Monstera deliciosa. But if you know anything about them, they vine like crazy. Now I'm going to show you a few different ways of making these moss poles. You don't have to make them all this kind of ways, but I'm going to show you the concept behind it. So in case you don't want to do it this way, you can find different other options to make your own moss poles. What? I know. And on top of that, I'm all about free and cheap right now because you know how it is. I'm kind of broke. I'm not made out of money. My butt is broke. So I'm going to be showing you a lot of natural organic options to use as moss poles also. I made this moss pole that you see right here. This moss pole that I made is a combination of using natural elements outside in nature, also using a little bit that you can find in the store. Now, if you have some vining plants, some climbers as house plants, then you're gonna notice that they like to spread out. They like to vine out because they're used to vining on trees, branches, stuff like that in nature. Being that these plants are brought indoors in a different environment, I wanna mimic as much of nature as possible. Now, why would they call it a moss pole? Well, technically it's wrapped up in sphagnum moss or some sort of outdoor nature moss. Step one, choosing your base of your moss pole. I have here 4 different moss pole options. Now beat that one. What? What I have here is a bunch of moss on bark that I grabbed when I was taking my dog for a walk in the woods. This is a large one. You can use this as a pole in itself. I know it sounds weird and unorthodox, but really, this is just thinking outside of the box and mimicking and trying to bring the environment of where their plants are used to indoors. This is a fantastic piece. Now, being that it is bark, it is dried. Now, it is sturdy enough where I can use that as part of a trellis. So this is gonna be an option for me. So you could stabilize it by tying this to a pole. Now, mind you, you don't even have to do this. You can just use a regular pole. I have here a PVC pipe. I've seen plenty of people use PVC pipe as the moss pole. What they do is they take sheet moss. I mean, you could leave it like this, but obviously this is not very decorative. So you wanna kind of like hook it up a little bit. What they do is they take the PVC pipe, they take sheet moss, and they wrap the PVC pipe with the moss and then secure it with some sort of string or floral wire. Definitely an option, and it's a really cheap option. PVC pipe is not that expensive. The sheet moss, that varies depending on where you're gonna buy it from. You can also use a metal pole as an option too, and also take your sheet moss and wrap it around the pole, secure it with the floral wire, and that is an option too. You want to have something sturdy and stable in the center, almost like a tree branch or almost like a tree trunk. Now, what you wrap it with is up to you. You can leave it like this, but again, is it attractive? Not exactly. My boyfriend Jose was outside the other day chopping down a tree, and look at that thick ass branch. I can use this as a moss pole. What I did was, as you can see, I narrowed down the bottom base part so it was going to be easier for me to put it in the dirt. That's an option. The second thing you're gonna need is actual moss to cover the pole or whatever sturdy object you're gonna use. You have the options of sphagnum moss, but you also have the option of, if I can get it, sheet moss. Both of these options are good so long as it's moss. The next thing you're gonna need is some sort of floral wire or a string, anything to keep the sheet moss onto the pole. I've used chicken wire to keep everything inside of it. So I'm gonna show you a few different options. As you can see here, the one I built for my Monstera right here, being that it's gonna get really big, is pretty thick. I used chicken wire to wrap up the pole along with the sphagnum moss. So if you don't have chicken wire, that's fine. Floral wire or some sort of string will be just fine. So what I did in order to make this one is I took a regular tree branch. That's right, tree branch, look at it. It's sturdy, it ain't going nowhere. Now I put that inside of the piece of chicken wire, and I stuffed a little bit of moss and sphagnum moss just to kind of make it a little more rounder and hardier. Then I wrapped it closed with the chicken wire and the floral wire. And that is what made this beautiful pole right here. This is about as natural as you're gonna get, aside from just sticking a regular branch in the dirt. It is beautiful and it works out so well. I'm gonna cover this branch with the sheet moss. Now mind you, you don't have to use the branch. You can use PVC pipe, you can use metal, doesn't matter. But the concept is still the same. All right, so you're gonna take it and you're literally just gonna wrap it. That's it. You're gonna wrap it. Now you just take your floral wire and just wrap it up. Yeah. That simple. It is. It really is. Wrap it as many times as you want to. Secure that moss because as you can see, it flakes a lot. You don't have to do this. Remember, you don't have to do it this way. You can easily wrap it with the chicken wire. I'm going to show you that too. Don't be afraid of mess, people. Oh, I got it. Ah! Oh, Now, I didn't wrap this one because this is the part where I'm going to stick in the dirt. Okay? So that's fine with me. Now you can leave it like this, or you can wrap it in the chicken wire, whichever one. This may be a little messy though because it's dried. So you can, remember, you can leave it like this. A little messy though, a lot of messy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it inside of the chicken wire. Oh, now this will really guarantee a lot of it just staying in there. Now this is the part, now that you have the chicken wire in the caged in area, you can add stuff to it. You can add more moss to it, but remember, it may fall out of it. Or you can add natural bark, natural tree bark. That is also a wonderful, wonderful option. You don't have to, but boy, does it really give a nice feel to it. And I'm sure your plants would love it too. You see that? Oh, it looks so nice. So, so nice. And free material, people. Look, I can just tear it off. And it's got a little bit of structure to it. Oh, dude, this is looking nice. This is looking nice. You don't have to do a knot, you just twist. That's how easy it is. I'm trying other options. This seems to be working out pretty good though. Everything is caged in now, so nothing, as you can see, is falling out of it. I got a bunch of extra stuff inside of it. So I really want to secure this. All right, cut your wire. You got the most naturalist moss pole ever, yo, for real. That floral wire I got from the Dollar Tree and that was $1. Secure the ends of it. Bam. Jackie, you did it. I gotta say, I kind of screwed up on this video, man. I really had an ADHD moment and I forgot to hit the record button. So I'm talking all about this and while not hitting the record button. So, oh my God, thank God I had my GoPro going. Despite all the problems I had, I hope you did enjoy this video and you found something informative out of it despite all the massive amount of mishaps that I had throughout this video. If you did like this video, despite all the massive amounts of fails that I had throughout it, then don't forget to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. I'm learning, okay? And that's all I can do is learn, all right? I learned through trial and error. This apparently is an error because I totally screwed up and forgot to hit the record button. That was smart. However, you know what? This is real and this is my life. If you want to see some more crazy jacked up content like this on gardening, houseplants, and humor as a form of my therapy on trying to get my crap together, then consider subscribing. I drop a video every week and then some in between. Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, but I'm on Facebook every day. I show a lot about the ins and outs of my life, a lot of DIY projects, and a lot of memes. I love to laugh, especially when you screw up so many times. You really need some comic relief, and I love to laugh. So on that note, as usual, I love chilling with you guys, and I will see y'all for the next episode, part 2 on trellising outdoors. I hope it's gonna be a lot better than this one. I will see y'all later. Peace and love.